Billy's Billy's not here, but Brenda's here, and she wanted me to say something for Kevin and Keith. And you boys been my little boys all of your life. And I know when your granddaddy died, Kevin come on home with me from the funeral. He says, "Grandmama, I'm going to stay with you." And he stayed over here with me 5 days and 5 nights. And when he got ready to go home, he says, I believe I'll go home today. And he went home, and he's not spent many nights with me since. But I love them boys. They've been my precious little grandboys. But I know what it is to work. I've worked all my life. I know what it is to get out and mow and hoe and garden and rake, and I love to do it. And Billy will tell me once in a while, "Well, Mother, you don't have to do, just stay out in the ditches. He don't care how much I mow, just stay out in the ditches." And I try not to get in the ditches, but sometimes I get stuck in there, and all I got to do is get off and go to Billy's and get it straightened, and he'll come on and get it out without any trouble, and he'll go on back home, and I'll try again. But boys, I would love for both of you to love the Lord and take your families to Sunday school and church. Or the church anyway, but you know something, I love to go to Sunday school better than I love to go to church. I get more out of going to Sunday school because I can read my Sunday school lesson and follow along with the teacher, but I can't half hear what the preacher says a lot of the time. He don't talk loud enough. He talks so fast and so hard till it's hard to understand. I was raised on a farm, and all of we young ones come along, and we had certain jobs we had to do. 2 of us would help Mama cook breakfast one week. Mama would cook breakfast one week, and the next week 2 of us would cook breakfast, and she could rest, and the next week 2 more would cook breakfast, but we helped her out with her cooking, and some of my sisters, and I don't know whether my brothers ever learned to cook or not, but I had some good sisters that knew how to cook, and they were good cooks. And I used to cook, but I can't cook anymore when you're cooking just for one a lot of the time. You can't cook like you do if you cook for a family. But anyway, me and Bonnie, we got up and got ready to go to school, or got ready to eat breakfast, and we went out and milked 2 cows every morning before we went to school. And I mean, I could really pull the milk out of that cow's bag. A bucket full with both hands, just as fast as I could go. And we kept it cool. I didn't like milk, but I could feed the cats. The cats would get behind the cow, and I could squirt milk in their mouth, and they'd eat all of it, drink all I could give them. But when we got to the house, Mama would strain the milk, and she'd strain out a jar full, a half-a-gallon jar full, and tie a rope around it, and drop it in the well. That's the way we kept the milk cool, so they could drink it. And we had all the cream and butter and everything like that anybody needed. And we had a pecan grove with plenty of pecans, and we raised peanuts, and well, we just worked on the farm. And Papa would tell us sometime we go in the field to work. He says, "If you'll get this crop, this corn hoed this afternoon," he says, "when you get through, we'll go to the river swimming." So he'd load us up. We'd work hard and get that work done, and he'd get us all on the old big truck we had, and he'd take us to the river swimming. And we'd play in the water and have a good time down there till it's time to come home. But anyway, I finished high school when I was 16, and my daddy let me go to college, and I went to East Carolina one year and I didn't like it. I was so homesick I didn't know what in the name of sense to do. And I wouldn't go back the next year. But I finally got married, and I didn't have any children till we'd been married close to 8 years when Billy come along. And I had got me a job at Cherry Point between getting married, and my daddy had died in the meantime. And after he died, I went to work at Cherry Point, and I decided I'd see if I couldn't get me a job over there, and I did, and I worked in the spark plug shop. But when I found out Billy was coming, I said I didn't have to go to work. Your daddy could take care of all of us, and his mama was still living, and she stayed with us part of the time. But anyway, I quit and before Billy come along. I quit, and I didn't ever go back. But I've been sorry many a time that I didn't keep on going to college and learn how to do something besides get in the field and work hard and get in the yard and mow and do the work that had to be. But your granddaddy the boy's granddaddy went on to work every day, and we farmed, and I helped him. I went and got hands to come to work, and I'd carry them back and forth, and we raised tobacco and corn, and just a farmer's work, and I helped him cure tobacco. He'd set it like he wanted it to go, and I'd look after it till he got back home that night. And I've been up on the tier poles putting corn tobacco in the barn, and I've been on the tier poles taking it out of the barn. I've graded it. I've tied it on the stick to go in the barn. I've done a little bit of everything but ditching, but I didn't want to ditch, and that was hard work. But I've dug many a hoe drain, and after I get them hoe drains dug. But one time they wanted me to haul tobacco out of the field. The boys had been in and primed it, and wanted me to take the tractor and bring it to the tobacco barn. And I pulled one load out. As far as I can remember, there was 2 truckloads that I pulled behind the tractor. When I got off it, I says, I'm not bringing another bit of tobacco out of the field. It's not my job, and I'm not going to do it. And I didn't ever get on the tractor to go back in the field to bring tobacco out. This is the whole family. My mama and my daddy, my older brother Harry and Howard, and my older sister Birdie, and Bonnie, and me. I'm the one with a hat on. Mm-hmm. And Burma, and Belma, and Ruby, and Reba. And today there's Harry and me and Reba. We're the only living ones today. All the rest have passed away. But anyway, we've had a good time together. We lived in a big old upstairs house with 9 rooms in it, and me and Bonnie slept in one room, and Birdie Bell slept in another room, and Ruby slept Ruby and Ree slept in Mama's and Papa's room, and Harry and Howard slept in the end room this way, and Johnny slept in the middle room next to the stair steps. She didn't have a room though. That's my 6. There's 7 girls there, and one of my brothers, my other brother, had died. This is Harry and Birdie and Bonnie and Bessie and Burma and Belma and Ruby and Reba. Belle was an English teacher, and she retired, and she and Roy just loved to go to the beach. When Roy would get home from work after Friday evening or Wednesday evening or whenever, she'd have everything packed up, ready to go, and they'd go to Wilmington, to Atlantic, was Emerald Isle, with a camper. And after Bill died, Birdie died the 12th of December, 1993, and Bill died the 28th of January, 1994. Bonnie died I don't remember how old Bonnie was, but she died in 84, in October of 84. Bonnie married Matt, and Brady married Ernie Salter, Charles and Mary's, Charles Salter's mother. And Bonnie married Mac Lewis, and Ruby died the 12th of March, 2 years ago, 1902, I think.
2002.
Howard died when he weren't but 57. And Ira and I were married the December to Christmas Day, 1937. Now this is not a new picture. This is Billy's and Brenda's picture that we made when the day they got married. January 15th, 1972. Somebody come along after we'd had dinner that day, and he'd taken one of Melissa's friends, a little girl, motorcycle riding. And when he got back, I told him, I says, I want to ride on that motorcycle. And he said, all right. He says, I'll take you to ride. So I crawled on that motorcycle, and somebody said to Billy, said, Billy, are you going to let her get on that motorcycle and go to ride? He says, if she wants to. So I was 89 years old. But anyway, I went on motorcycle riding and come on back home and got off it. But I just like to do something like that anyhow. But I love to go, and I'm 90 years old. But I'm going to go long as the Lord will give me the strength to go with. Well, this is New Year's Day, January the 1st, 2005. And it's been a dreary looking day. The weather didn't look good, but it's warm outside. And it's a comfortable day outside. And I need to be out there right now and raking pine cones and bunching them up, because there's a lot of them out there, and I intended to do it this evening, but I've been trifling, not done a thing but just what I've been here in the house all day long doing, with the television going part of the time, and part of the time of reading, and part of the time just nothing. But anyway, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. We'll have another good day, and I thank the Lord for His blessings He gives to me every day of my life, and He's blessed me so many times, blessings that I don't deserve, but He's a good Lord, and He loves everybody, and everybody ought to love Him, because He died for us. He shed His blood for us.